The world is shifting, and not in a good way. Military budgets are skyrocketing, weapons tests are becoming routine, and geopolitical tensions are at their highest in decades. Countries are no longer just preparing for conflict, they're expecting it. So, who is gearing up for battle in 2025? Some nations are rapidly stockpiling firepower, while others are testing cutting-edge war machines that could redefine modern combat. Let's uncover the nations silently preparing for the next global showdown. But before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a deep dive into the world's most pressing issues. Let's get started. Number 10. Japan. Japan, historically committed to pacifism, finds itself redefining its defense posture due to rising regional threats. In 2024, Tokyo announced a record $51 billion defense budget, marking a staggering 26.3% increase from the previous year. This dramatic shift reflects growing concerns over China's maritime ambitions and North Korea's missile provocations. To counter these threats, Japan is making substantial investments in advanced weaponry, including hypersonic missiles and long-range cruise missiles. The Japanese government has also purchased 105 F-35 stealth fighters, positioning Japan as the largest foreign operator of these cutting-edge jets. Cybersecurity capabilities have been enhanced to protect against potential cyber attacks from hostile nations. A notable flashpoint remains the Sakurajima Islands, where Chinese Coast Guard vessels have repeatedly entered Japanese waters, prompting diplomatic protests. In response, Japan has expanded its naval patrols and intensified joint military drills with the United States. Public sentiment regarding military expansion has shifted significantly. A 2024 poll showed that 64% of Japanese citizens support increasing defense spending, up from 43% in 2020. Prime Minister Fumio Kishida emphasized the need for proactive defense measures to maintain regional stability amidst rising threats in the Indo-Pacific region. With such preparations, Japan is readying itself for contingencies that seemed unthinkable just a decade ago. Number 9. Turkey. Turkey, a NATO member with ambitious regional aspirations, has significantly ramped up its military activities. In 2024, Ankara boosted its defense budget by 150%, reaching $28 billion. This massive investment underscores Turkey's commitment to expanding its military influence across the Eastern Mediterranean, Middle East, and beyond. Turkey's drone industry stands out as a critical asset. The Bayraktar TB2 drones, renowned for their effectiveness in conflicts like Libya and Ukraine, are now being upgraded with AI capabilities. Defense companies reported a 32% rise in exports during the first half of 2024, with sales surging in Africa and Eastern Europe. Despite these advancements, tensions with Greece persist, particularly concerning territorial waters in the Aegean Sea. These disputes escalated in March 2024, when Turkish jets flew over Greek islands, prompting NATO to urge both nations to de-escalate. In Syria, Turkey's military has reinforced its positions along the border, targeting Kurdish groups labeled as terrorist threats. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan reiterated that ensuring border security remains a non-negotiable priority. As Turkey balances its NATO obligations with regional assertiveness, its preparations for potential conflicts continue to intensify. Number 8. Iran. Iran has ramped up its military readiness amid escalating tensions in the Middle East. In 2024, Tehran increased its defense budget by 35%, allocating $22 billion for missile programs, naval expansion, and drone production. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, or IRGC, leads these efforts, with Iran's missile arsenal now considered the largest in the region. In July 2024, the IRGC tested the Karar-Shin missile, capable of striking targets up to 450 kilometers away, threatening both Israel and U.S. bases in the Gulf. Satellite images revealed new missile sites being constructed along the country's western borders. Iran's influence through regional proxies has intensified, with Hezbollah in Lebanon, Shia militias in Iraq, and the Houthis in Yemen receiving increased support. According to a UN report, Iran supplied over 500 drones to these groups in 2024 alone. Naval activities have expanded as well, with Iranian warships patrolling the Red Sea and Strait of Hormuz more aggressively. In May 2024, a British oil tanker was seized, drawing international condemnation. With diplomatic efforts faltering, Iran's military preparations suggest it is ready for potential confrontations in 2025. Number 7. South Korea. South Korea continues to bolster its defenses against persistent threats from the north. In 2024, Seoul approved a $52 billion defense budget, marking an 8% increase from the previous year. Investments focus on missile defense, surveillance technology, and naval capabilities. The deployment of advanced THAAD missile defense systems expanded significantly, with successful tests conducted in March 2024 to neutralize North Korean hypersonic missiles. The South Korean Air Force received new F-35A jets to strengthen aerial defense, while joint military exercises with the United States increased. The 2024 Freedom Shield drills involved 300,000 troops and simulated large-scale conflict scenarios. North Korea responded with missile tests and threats of unimaginable consequences. To enhance its naval presence, South Korea deployed new submarines equipped with ballistic missiles in the Yellow Sea in April 2024. Concerns over Chinese and North Korean activities in the region further fuel South Korea's military preparations. Number 6. India. India, a rising power in Asia, is preparing for potential confrontations on multiple fronts. The 2024 defense budget reached $73 billion, reflecting a 15% increase from the previous year. Modernizing its air force, navy, and cyber capabilities remains the primary focus. Border tensions with China remain unresolved along the line of actual control, prompting India to deploy an additional 5,000 troops in May 2024, following reports of Chinese construction near contested areas. Satellite images showed new fortifications on both sides, underscoring the ongoing standoff. India's naval strategy has evolved, with the Indian Navy commissioning 2 new destroyers and expanding its presence in the Indian Ocean to counter Chinese influence. Maritime exercises under the Quad Alliance with Australia, Japan, and the US have intensified. Internally, the defense sector is experiencing rapid growth, driven by export contracts with Southeast Asia and Africa. With unresolved border disputes and increasing maritime ambitions, India's military preparations for 2025 are unmistakable. Number 5. Israel. Israel has intensified its military readiness in response to escalating regional threats. The 2024 defense budget climbed to $27 billion, reflecting an 18% increase. The Israel Defense Forces prioritized missile defense, drone technology, and cyber capabilities. The Iron Dome system received significant upgrades, introducing interceptors designed to counter hypersonic missiles. In April 2024, Israel successfully tested the Arrow 4 missile defense system, demonstrating its ability to destroy targets in space. Border tensions worsened when Hezbollah launched over 300 rockets from southern Lebanon in the first half of 2024, prompting Israeli retaliatory strikes. The IDF subsequently reinforced positions in the north and increased aerial patrols. Cyber warfare capabilities have expanded, with Israeli intelligence thwarting 78 cyber attacks in 2024, most attributed to Iranian hackers. The Cyber Command doubled its personnel in response to multiplying threats. As challenges mount, Israel remains vigilant and prepared for potential escalations in 2025. Number 4. Ukraine. Ukraine continues its desperate defense against Russian forces. In 2024, Kyiv allocated $48 billion to its military, accounting for 30% of GDP. This funding supports artillery replenishment, drone production, and recruitment efforts. The conflict remains intense, with Ukrainian forces launching over 200 drone strikes on Russian oil facilities in the first half of 2024, targeting logistical infrastructure. Moscow responded with airstrikes on key Ukrainian cities. International support remains crucial, with NATO countries pledging an additional $50 billion in aid in April 2024, providing advanced missile systems and armored vehicles. Domestically, the arms industry has expanded rapidly, with Ukrainian factories producing 5,000 drones in the first quarter alone, a 40% increase from 2023. Recruitment centers reported a surge in volunteer sign-ups as the war drags on. Ukraine's military preparations for 2025 remain relentless. Number 3. Russia. Russia continues to prioritize its military objectives despite international sanctions. The 2024 defense budget soared to $16 billion, constituting nearly 7% of GDP. Military production has shifted to wartime levels, with factories running around the clock. The war in Ukraine remains Russia's primary focus, with renewed momentum seen in February 2024, when Russian forces captured key positions near Bakhmut. Beyond Ukraine, Russia is expanding its presence in the Arctic, unveiling new missile installations and military bases in May 2024 to secure resource-rich territories. Joint naval exercises with China and Iran have intensified, signaling closer ties. The conscription system has been overhauled, raising the maximum conscription age to 30 in January 2024, adding thousands of new soldiers. Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu declared the need for a self-reliant military industry. With no diplomatic resolution in sight, Russia's war preparations continue unabated. Number 2. China. China's military preparations have accelerated significantly. The 2024 defense budget hit $230 billion, marking a 7.6% increase. This rise aligns with Beijing's ambition to dominate the Indo-Pacific and beyond. Naval expansion tops the agenda, with 5 new destroyers and 2 aircraft carriers launched this year alone. Satellite imagery revealed additional bases being built in the South China Sea. Taiwan remains the central concern, with 90 Chinese warplanes crossing Taiwan's air defense zone in a single day in April 2024, the largest incursion ever recorded. The People's Liberation Army, or PLA, is rehearsing for what Beijing calls reunification by force, if necessary. Cyber operations have surged, with U.S. officials reporting a 40% increase in Chinese-origin cyber attacks targeting infrastructure in the Pacific. Meanwhile, China has expanded partnerships with Russia, conducting joint drills in the Sea of Japan. Tensions remain at an all-time high as China's military buildup continues unchecked. Number 1. United States. The United States remains the world's preeminent military power, yet its preparations for future conflicts have intensified. In 2024, the defense budget soared to $842 billion, the highest in history. This funding supports operations in Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. The Indo-Pacific Command received the largest budget share, with deployments in Guam and the Philippines aimed at countering China's growing influence. Joint exercises with Japan and Australia have expanded significantly, while NATO cooperation reached new levels. U.S. troops participated in Defender 2024, the largest NATO drill since the Cold War, simulating scenarios involving potential Russian aggression. Cybersecurity efforts have increased, with the Pentagon launching a new AI-driven defense network in June 2024 to protect military infrastructure from foreign cyber attacks. Military officials warned that China and Russia are actively probing U.S. networks. As global tensions rise, the U.S. military prepares for multi-theater conflicts in 2025. The world is at a breaking point. Defense budgets are swelling, alliances are shifting, and countries are preparing for conflicts that once seemed unthinkable. Whether it's territorial disputes, proxy wars, or full-scale military confrontations, 2025 is shaping up to be a year of reckoning. Are we on the brink of a new global conflict, or is this just another chapter in the long game of power politics? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to stay ahead of the unfolding global drama, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Until next time, stay informed.